So what if you run into a girl by complete accident while out smoking and she lights her cig with yours? You're apparently new to the building and she asks you about a keychain on your backpack, and it turns out that she's quite the otaku, and the two of you start hanging out more and more, and you end up falling for her. Well, that's the story the doujin I have for you today. Let's talk 417005, called From the Body Next Door. What the
You know, I went back to Google Translate this because it didn't make sense, and this makes more sense.
It's from the artist Ebi Fry Teishoku. There's a smoking tag and also rough grammar, so I'll try my best to understand it, but let's get right into it. The doujin starts out with a shot of a pavilion with someone recalling the day the two met. It's this guy smoking and this girl asking to borrow a light, but changes her mind and just tells him to hold still since she uses his already lit cigarette to light hers. She asks if they've met before and if he's new, so he introduces himself as Iwatani from room 202 and just moved in a couple days ago. She introduces herself as Shirohara from room 203, making them neighbors, but of course Iwatani is gonna look at her calcium cannons. Shirohara asks him about the keychain on his backpack, and he asks if she knows him. She goes on ranting about the original show and a bunch of weeb shit, complimenting herself afterwards, though he calls her an otaku and she gets all embarrassed. Some time passes and we learn that the two have been meeting up at that smoking place talking about their hobbies, and she's about to spoil something but catches herself and he says it wasn't funny, but he slowly found himself falling in love with her. However, she already has a boyfriend and sometimes leaves early. He tries to convince himself everything's fine and that they're just neighbors and he can't ask about it, instead opts to sleep it off. It cuts to later and Iwatani is coming back from a bike ride but sees Shirohara sitting alone on a bench. He says it's rare to see her out this late and she greets him, but he sits down and asks if something happened and tells her that she doesn't have to say it if she doesn't want to. She tells him that she was going out with the guy, but she got dumped with him saying it wasn't fun to be with her. So Iwatani does this coy thing saying that he wouldn't let her go of such a good catch like her, but immediately gets embarrassed, and she asks if he was actually aiming for her, which he admits. So she tells him to console her, and they go inside and just do it. It cuts to morning and they're talking about the night they had and how his back is hurting, but he asks her to take care of him now, but she's confused on what. Of course joking, and extends her hand out saying to never let go of her, and the doujin ends. Overall, I rate this an 8 out of 10. The major thing dragging the story down was translating the grammar made my brain hurt, and that may just be because I'm stupid. The story also seemed kind of rushed, but even then somewhat made sense. Everything about this was amazing though, from the artwork to the characters, and I recommend you check it out for yourselves as always. That's all I got. I'll see you in the next one.
Attack on Titan, Tokyo Ghoul, these hentai babes make me drool. Hasune Miku is great. She makes me masturbate. Fairy tale.